So welcome to Mobility and Mindset. This is kind of session 3 or 4. If you've joined before, and I know a couple of you have, it's going to be that whole body flow, and we'll center in as we go through the movements on a couple of different areas of the body. But generally, it's going to be stretches for the whole body, a lot of becoming aware of your breathing while we're doing it, and kind of relaxing, letting some of the tension and energy that you're feeling in your body just sitting with it and then letting it flow out. And once we've done some stretching, which honestly it will fly by, that 25 minutes or so, we're going to do 10 minutes or so of lying guided breathing and visualization. So if you're someone who does sport, you might use the visualization to be practicing. For example, if you can't get in the gym, you're going to be guided, thinking about a task that you're going to perform. And we're basically using the parts of the brain that actually are active and are being used when we perform the task. But if we don't have access to perform the task, the best we can do is to visualize and practice in our minds as well. Lots of interesting research and videos out there. If you're interested in that, we can chat another time. Anyway, let's get going. Let's get moving and stretching and breathing. If you want to pop on music in your own space, go for it. Okay. Awesome, guys. Find yourself a space, perhaps the back of a mat, or just making sure you're perhaps on carpet, something that's a little bit softer under the knee. Standing at the back of your mat, you're going to pop the toe knuckles together with the heels just apart. Breathing in, you're going to reach up to the sky, reach through the fingertips. Breathe out, lower the arms. Breathe in, reach up. Let the ribcage rise now, drop the arms, breathe out. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, lower. One more time. Breathing in, lift. And breathe out, you're going to fold forward, reaching forward, have a soft bend in the knee if you need to. And if we need to hold onto the shins or up here, that's fine. You're going to take a deep breath in, you're going to look up and pinch the shoulder blades together. Breathe out, lower back down to your full fold. We'll practice that again. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, lower. One more time. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, lower. And we're going to pull the tummy button towards the spine and slowly roll up one bit of the spine at a time. Just noting if you feel some discomfort anywhere on the way up. Where do you feel it? Rolling the shoulder blades back a couple of times at the top. Okay, we're going to flow through those now. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, look up. Breathe out, lower. And then tummy button in and rolling up. So we're just piecing together some of those movements, rolling the shoulder blades back at the top, starting to warm up a little bit, but also relax. Reach up, breathe in. Breathe out, lower. Breathe in, look up. Breathe out, lower. And one more, roll up, slowly, slowly. A bit like a Jefferson curl, if we've done those before. Just feeling the spine, rolling the shoulder blades back. If you've got space or stepping forward, you're just going to reach up and do 3 big slow circles with the arm on one side. Palm facing out and twisting in the whole torso as you come round. Reach up, let everything start to stretch off. Other arm. Reach up and twist. Big reach, focusing in on breathing nice and deeply. Okay, we're going to move to a little bit of an up dog, down dog sequence, and if you haven't done this before, I'll do some modifications as we go. So starting with our reach up, breathe in, breathe out, lower, and we're going to walk out to a high plank. If you can hold high plank on your toes, great. If you need to come to your knees, also fine. We're going to breathe in here, breathe out and lower down to a full lying position. Breathe in and push through the hands. Squeezing the bum if you need to take some pressure off the lower back here. Squeeze your bum and push through your hands to just take that pressure off. Then you're going to tuck your toes, breathe out and come back to a down dog position, sending the hips up to the sky. And here I'm going to take 5 deep breaths in your own time while I talk a little bit. So driving the heels down to the floor if you can. You can pop a little bend in the knees if you need to. The shoulders are going to start lighting up here. I want you to dig your fingers in, feeling from your thumb through your other fingers, just digging those fingers into the floor and pushing the shoulders away from the hands a bit. Okay, and then we're going to come back to our high plank or our knee plank. We're going to breathe in, breathe out lower, breathe in, up dog, squeezing the bum, breathe out, down dog. And here, let's do some calf walks. So you're going to send one heel down to the floor at a time, slowly shifting sides. And thinking about when you drive that heel down, just lifting the hips up to the sky even more. Keeping the fingers digging into the floor, focusing in on your breath. Okay, this is going to be one of the more physical parts of the session, and then we'll settle into some other stretching. So we're just kind of getting warm, both heels down now. We're going to go through that sequence a couple more times. Up to your high plank or knee plank version. Breathing in, step. Breathe out, lower. Breathe in, up dog. Use the knees if you need. Breathe out, down dog. And then one more breath as you come back to your set position, high plank. Breathing in. Breathe out, lower. Breathe in, up dog. Breathe out, down dog. 2 deep breaths. And one more time. Just taking a rest whenever you need to here, guys. Okay, in your high plank, breathe in, set. Breathe out, lower. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, down dog. And walking the hands now back towards the feet. Staying in a forward fold if you can. If you need to stand up and go back down just to get some blood flow back to your head, that's fine. But staying in this forward fold as low as we can, perhaps we're just reaching the shins. We're going to twist. So twisting through the torso and the spine. So you're going to take one hand to the outside of the other leg here. And then you're just going to reach your rib cage out on that side. And just feeling a pull into the low back, mid back here. And back to the middle. Other side, hand around, onto the outside of that leg as far down as we can reach. And just pushing that rib cage out and away towards that other hip. Okay, and then walking the hands out, let's come to a seated sort of kneeling position. Okay, great, that's for time. Okay, from here, I'm just going to do a little bit of wrist through the arms into the neck. So starting with your hands laced together, I'm just going to do some wrist rolls. In one direction. If you can work out which direction that is, great, I never can. So then we're going to switch the fingers and just slowly rolling around in the other direction. If you can figure that one out. Sorry, my dog is sneezing. Okay, we're going to come into a sort of prayer position here and lower the base of the hands close to the torso. Pushing through the fingers, letting the base of the palms come apart. Lace the fingers together and we're going to reach them out in front, pushing the hands away from the body, and then I want you to pull the hands apart just for a few seconds and bring them back into the chest and relax. So you probably felt a stretch across here then. If you're pulling the hands apart, we'll go for that again. So prayer stretch, coming down nice and slow. Lace the fingers together when we get to that bottom reach, reaching out. Shoulders come in front of the spine, and then we're pulling out on the hands, just feeling tension all down from that collarbone into the chest and relax. Oh, one more time. Prayer stretch down, lace the fingers, reach out in front, reach and pull apart and relax. Okay, you're going to take one arm and just reach it over behind your head, taking the other arm to this elbow here. Nice and upright, the rib cage will probably flare a little bit at this point, so we can't really keep it down. Let's let it lift. And if you're not comfy sat here, you can sit onto your toes or into a tall kneeling position. Okay, from here, we're going to keep upright and try not to be forward. And just rock over to one side, pulling that elbow a little bit, feeling a stretch. Perhaps from the elbow into the shoulder, perhaps from the shoulder down into the mid-low back. Perhaps just in the spine and back to the middle. Relax the arms out. Taking the other arm up and over. Just the hand behind the head, taking the other arm to meet the elbow. Again, just making sure that we're not rocking forward too much. Staying nice and upright, and we're just going to start that stretch over to one side. You might feel it differently in one side to the other. Also, really, really normal. We've all got those imbalances on one side. Okay, and back to the middle and relax. Okay, hands down to an all fours position. I'm going to just point the toes behind. I'm going to come into a sort of puppy dog position where we're going to walk the hands out really far in front. And then slowly, you're going to push back with the hips and just feel some tension build in your shoulders, and see if you can press the chest towards the floor. So we can walk out even further if it feels like we can't get back into the hips and access that shoulder range. Or we can come slightly more into like this sort of child's pose and then push if it's too aggressive in the shoulders. So just holding with the hips sent up to the sky. We'll feel a lot of pressure perhaps in the low back, or a lot of pressure under the shoulders, into the front of the chest, maybe into the front of the shoulder, perhaps down past the elbows. We all carry that tension in different places. So now I want you guys to tuck your chin and push through your hands and push your upper back up towards the sky. And relax down. See if we can press that chest any lower and tuck, point the chin forward. Okay, again, digging the fingers in this time, pushing that upper back up to the sky, just for a few seconds, and then relaxing down. I say relaxing, we're still feeling that strong stretch anywhere in the shoulders or the low back. One more time, tuck the chin, push up to the sky, and lower. If you need to come out of this position and relax for a second, guys, absolutely fine. Otherwise, we're going to go to a single-sided version of this. So coming up to all fours, and then we're basically going to join our hands together in the middle like this and move them over to one side. So bringing the hands out in front in that central position and lacing the fingers. To begin with, we're going to try and push down into that similar position, but with the hands together. Okay, so nice deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're just lowering down again, and we'll feel even sort of stronger, perhaps uncomfortable stretch in the shoulders. If it's more than a 3 out of 5, just hold the range where that pain or discomfort is less, because we want it to be perhaps uncomfortable, but not ultimately painful. Okay, and then we're just going to come up slightly, walking one hand out to the side, walking the other hand to meet it. And again, guys, you can come back into more of child's pose rather than puppy dog. If this is too strong, just take the hips and the hands further back. Okay, over to one side. Going to send the hips back, and then we're going to think about pushing the shoulders just down to the floor there. And then we're going to think about just pushing into the front shoulder. So the one that's crossed over, we're just going to move a little bit of our weight towards that extended twisted shoulder and pulse into that there. So we're just hitting all different angles of the shoulder, of the lap, of the chest right now, with all these little variations on the same thing. Okay, this is quite strong now, so let's come out of that and just sit back for a second before we hit the other side. And if at any point these are too strong of a sensation for you, you just want to take that movement range down to what you can manage or what feels good and useful today, not painful. So hands are going out again. We're going out to the other side, placing those hands over. And once more, sending the hips back, and then thinking about pushing the shoulders down as far as we can. And then from here, just slightly rocking that weight over into the extended crossed over shoulder. Almost a rotation over, or just a slight pulse into it. Okay, and coming back to the middle, walking the hands back. Little wrist stretch now, fingers are pointing forward. I want you to just dig your fingers into the floor for 3 seconds. And you'll feel some tension just in the forearm here. Perhaps you have a manual job, writing a lot, working at a laptop or using a phone a lot. You'll feel tension already there. Digging the fingers into the floor one more time. And relax. We're just going to pulse over the wrists 10 times. And then we will Once we've done our 10, move our fingers so that the fingers point back towards the knees. And then tucking the toes under as well. If you need to support a little bit of weight here, you're just going to slowly peel back to a range where it feels like it's just stretching sort of deeply in those wrist areas and just pulsing again. So we've done quite a lot of work through the spine in that warm-up, through the wrist and the shoulders now. So we'll just move into a couple of bits on the hips, especially if we are working at desks, for example, or sitting a lot more in the current conditions. So I'm going to lie on our back and do a sort of active hip opener. So lying down with our feet at a 90-degree angle like that. So rather than pointing just at 90, 90. And then you're going to pull the other leg up to 90. And so I'll show you one time and then we can join together. So the goal here is to drive this heel down on that extended leg and drive this knee towards you with about 80% effort. Okay, so I'll show you one time. I'm going to keep my core, if I can, driving down to the floor as well. That heel goes down into the floor. This knee comes towards me. 3, 2, 1, and relax. And then what I'll do is I'll pull that knee in to reset, pull the other knee in, and back to lying. So come onto your back and lying down. We're going to start with one leg extended and we're going to do 3 repetitions on one side and 3 repetitions on the other side. So bring that knee up to 90 degrees, toes pointing up to the sky on both legs. Getting ready to drive the heel down and drive the knee towards you with 80% effort. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Relax, pull the knee in, pull the other knee in, and then we go back to that 90 position on the first leg. Ready, and push. Drive the heel down, keep your core down as well, and relax, pull that knee in, tuck the other knee in, and back to this first side for the last rep. Toes up to the sky, and push. Driving that one leg down, driving the knee towards you, and tuck the knee in, other knee, and then lying. We're going to set up on the other side. So the other leg's going to be straight now, pulling this knee up to 90 degrees, thinking about sending the other heel down and this leg knee towards you. And push, 2, 3, and pull that knee in, reset the other knee, remember, just resetting the hips, and back to that position. 2 more reps. Ready, and push, 2, 3, knee towards you, reset the other hip, and the last rep. Ready, push, 2, 3, tucking that knee in, other knee comes in, and we lie down. Okay, bringing your heels in towards your bum. Now we're just going to look at mobilizing the lower spine. So from this position, lying, hands down by your hips, you're just going to think about rolling your tailbone and 1 or 2 vertebrae at a time off of the floor. So if you can see me or you're watching me as a guide, you can see that's a very slight movement where I'm just slightly pushing through the heels. And I want you guys to perform 5 slow repetitions here, where we're going to drive the lower abdomen down towards the floor and think about rolling that sort of coccyx, the tailbone at the bottom, just rolling that off and then seeing if we can just push 1 or 2 more vertebrae off the floor. Slowly, slowly, slowly rolling. So this is part of our spine that takes the brunt of sitting a lot. And just to mobilize mindfully around the spine here is going to really help with our overall recovery. Let's do 1 or 2 more reps here. It's feeling good. So our central nervous system resides within our spinal column. So if we can really take care of our spine, it's going to help with our overall recovery. Okay, let's just try a brief encounter. We're going to pull one knee up and then one arm out to the side, and we're just going to see if we can come over at all in a twisted stretch. We're not going to spend too long here. We're just going to pass through that position slowly, rolling back and lowering the leg down. Bringing the other knee up, arm out to the side, And then we're just going to roll slowly, slowly. Okay, and back to the middle. Okay, coming onto your front, guys, we're going to do a little more work around the spine, and this will feel really good. Maybe some stuff you've not done before, and then we'll do some guided breathing. So, coming into this all fours position once more. This time, you're going to bring one hand so that it's in a T from the other hand. So this thumbnail of this front hand across at T is by the sort of middle fingernail. Perhaps wherever that feels comfy, hands maybe towards you more, hands maybe slightly further out, wherever you are comfy. So coming across to that one side. Joining me now, what you're going to do is pull your tummy button up towards the sky and then start to push through your arms and push your upper back up towards the sky. And then lower down through the chest, letting that extended side on that opposite side stretch off and pushing down as much as is comfortable. Okay, we're going to come up again slowly into this sort of cat-cow and just focusing on pushing through that extended side, lowering down really slowly. So the side where the kind of lat and the back of the shoulder is stretched and the mid-back is stretched. Let's go up again. You'll feel an extra stretch there. You might feel like a pinching on this side, lowering down. You can explore shifting your weight from one hip to the other, and actually on that way up, we'll go up now. Does it feel better or worse, or are there better sensations as we come down? If you've got your weight in that close hip, or if you've got that weight in the other hip. This is personal to you. One more rep, and that's about 5, I think. Just pushing up through the hands and the fingers at the top, and lowering down. So hands back to the middle slowly. Again, this is quite intrusive work on the spine, so if we are carrying some inflammation in the spine there, this might feel uncomfy. So other hand coming across in a T. Same thing on the other side. So we're going to start by pushing up with the lower spine, pushing the tummy button up to the sky, pushing through the hands, and then lowering. Just noting, there's no right or wrong here, guys. It's about what feels right for you, and it's about noting as we come up now, does one side feel entirely different to the other? And lowering. Is there one part of the body that is just shouting? Is there one thing that if you went to work with a massage therapist, just following my motion, we're going down again now. If you're on your own time, that's fine. Okay, coming up again. Just learning about your body and learning about how these sensations that we're feeling here could truly be impacting your overall recovery, your mood, your mindset, your fatigue. If we're carrying inflammation or we're carrying soreness, just go down one more time and then we are back to the middle. Okay. Right. I think we're nearly about ready to do some guided breathing. We will do one more stretch of the hips and then we'll come into a lying position. So we're going to do a bit of a half Cossack stretch on the adductor on the inside of the leg here. So we're going to take one leg out if you can. If you need to do this standing, you can stand in a straddle position, but here we're going to either tuck the toe under or we can have the toe pointed behind. Tucking the toe under is going to help if we have less confidence in this position. So immediately, upright, we can feel the stretch here. That's the stretch that we're going to look at changing the location of that stretch now. So we're going to send the hips back and you'll just feel that the location of that stretch sort of changes and moves around. And from here, we're going to see if we can hold on to something in front or lower down to as low as we can possibly get on this kind of stretch. You can let that heel come up, but the idea is that we want to stretch really that inside leg here. So if you're up here, fine. If you're down here or sat here, fine also. Now to make this stretch deeper, we're just going to squeeze this glute here and drive it towards the floor. Okay, so we're going to squeeze gently if you need to, and relax, and squeeze, and relax, and squeeze one more time. And relax. Okay, slowly coming out of that side. And we're going to switch to the other side. Leg goes out to the side, toe tucked under if you need to. Starting upright, and we're just going to sit back with the hips, feel that rotational stretch change. And then if we can sit lower down into it, great, we're just going to work where you can. So this glute's going to squeeze and drive to the floor. Drive. And relax. Okay, one more. Two more, sorry. And relax. And one more time, squeeze. And relax. Okie dokie. So I want you to find a comfortable seated or lying position. And we're just going to do some breathing and let the tension roll out of the body a little bit. So I'm going to lie on my back. You can lie on your front. You can be seated, whatever works for you. Okay, so we're just going to breathe in with our eyes closed for a count of 4. We're going to hold for 1, and we're going to breathe out for 4 and hold for 1. I'm going to do a few counts where I'm guiding you, and then I want to just talk while you focus on that breathing count a little more. So we're going to do a bit of a scan through the body. Closing the eyes now, if you're comfy to. I want you to start breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. And now finding your own count, using the same count. 4, hold, 4, hold. While I begin a mind-body scan, and I'm just going to remind you to check in with the breathing every now and again. So, starting at the crown of the head, focusing on your breathing, we're going to check in with how the body feels. At the top of the head, scanning down, we're just going to scan past the brow. Are you carrying tension in your brow? Can you kind of wiggle and relax the eyebrows? Coming down past the jaw, do we need to relax as we come through the neck? How is your head feeling, resting on the floor or resting on your shoulders if you're seated? As we come down past the neck, focusing on your breathing count, just for now, we're still going to count. Do you need to just readjust your shoulders to get some of that tension out from the neck? Scanning down the traps above the shoulder, down into the arms now, focusing in on that breathing. Scanning down past the shoulder, past the biceps, through the elbows. How do your arms feel on the floor? Do they feel heavy? Do you feel like you're floating today? Just letting that tension roll out through the fingers. Wiggling if you need to, coming back to the top of the chest. Still focusing on that breathing count that might feel challenging, or perhaps you're relaxing into it already. You're just going to scan down the chest. How does that breath feel? Does it feel hard to concentrate today? Does it feel relaxing? Does it feel like every breath out you're managing to release that tension, rolling down past the rib cage towards the tummy button, rolling down? How does your midline feel? How do your hips feel now? At the pelvis, focusing in on that breathing again. How do your hips feel sat on the floor or sat on the seat? Rolling down the thigh, still focusing on that challenging breathing. And rolling down past the knees. How do your legs feel against the surface where you're sat today? Can you just let some of that tension roll out of the body, or does it feel okay just sitting with that tension, rolling through the ankles, through the feet, through the toes, and settling into a natural breathing rhythm now? Well done on that breathing. Just deep breath in, deep breath out at your own rhythm. Okay, I just want you to check in a little bit. Apart from my voice, what can you hear around you? What can you hear in your head? Can you just hear your breath? Is your brain busy today? And what can you smell? And how is your body feeling as you are sitting or lying today? Okay, we're going to do a couple of visualization exercises, and if you've not done these before, literally just want you to try focusing on your breathing and just seeing how you go. There's no right or wrong. Always centering back in if your brain gets distracted. Am I focusing on my breathing? Okay, so you're going to choose a task, perhaps a physical task that you know either how it feels or how it's supposed to feel to perform this task. And it might be something like walking up and down the stairs or coming in and out of the car. It might be lifting your PB snatch or clean at the gym, performing a strict pull-up. You might have performance goals, and I want you to just let one come to mind now and think of a task, a daily or a performance task now, and we're going to actually practice it in our mind, focusing in on your breathing, using the same parts of the brain that are actually working when we perform that task. Okay, so you're going to get present in this visualization now. Where are you? What space are you in? Who's with you? What can you see? And then you're going to think about what can I feel when I'm performing that task. And in your visualization, you're going to actually envision yourself performing the task. We're going to get present with our breathing again. And then your next inhale, you're going to prepare to perform the task. And we're going to do this task in our mind in 3, 2, 1. Okay, maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, maybe you felt distracted, or perhaps you've got practice at this now and you really want to get better at this task. Just centering in on your breathing again. We're going to give ourselves a shot at practicing this again. Okay, so could you feel it? Could you feel what it was physically going to be like to perform that task? If not, we're going to see if we can get that sensation just through thought and visualization now. Okay. On your next inhale, you're preparing to perform this task. And we're going to perform in 3, 2, 1. Okay, perhaps that went better, perhaps you're feeling distracted, that is fine either way. Just centering in on your breathing. Being patient, letting yourself have this last couple of minutes of your day where you're just present in your body and we're practicing something new. Okay, 2 more times. We're going to prepare to perform this task on our next inhale, visualizing it, seeing ourselves doing it. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, maybe that was more successful again. Maybe you're just settling into the rhythm. Focus in on your breathing again. Perhaps you're really struggling with trying to visualize at all, and that is okay. We're going to perform it one more time in our mind, and then we're going to get present back in our physical body again, and that will be us done for practice. So, on your next inhale, preparing to perform this task in your mind's eye, we're going to visualize. And in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Maybe that was the first time you've done this. Perhaps it felt successful. Perhaps it felt uncomfortable. Again, whatever you felt was okay. So we're just going to get present in the body again. I want you to wiggle your toes. That feels weird, hey? Okay, you're going to just roll through the ankles and start to feel that tension and blood flow come back through the legs, perhaps bending the knees up and down a little bit. Rock into one hip and into the other hip, wiggling the fingers and letting some tension come back up into the arms. Just perhaps rocking the head and the neck side to side. And covering the eyes if you haven't already opened. We're going to think about, if you're ready, preparing to just open the eyes. Might be pretty bright. And then, however is comfortable for you, you're going to think about rolling onto the side or rolling up to seated. As we kind of come back to getting really present with our days, we've taken that time for ourselves in the day for that stretching and breathing. So, thank you for joining me, guys, and I hope you enjoy.